Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my podcast, Wine Therapy. Tonight we are drinking. I actually just got this. I had like a meeting um, with like a wine bar to potentially do like an event there, and they just fed me wine. So obviously I bought wine. One of them, this is from Portugal. It's called Dessa Finado. I couldn't even tell you what type of wine it is. It says red wine. So yeah, let's try it. I feel like it's got to be good. I went to a nice spot, so if this spills, I'll die. Oh. Welcome back. This one is sort of relating to my life. It's about the hookup culture and like situationships, the talking stage, and I guess like the etiquette of like casually like seeing somebody and like what it should be like a situationship. Like I've always been like, I don't know what that is because I don't do those. But now I'm kind of like relating a little bit more to what that is. And I'm like, okay, shit, like there are rules. One might say that there's not, and it's like, oh, just go with the flow. Like we're sort of seeing each other, but we're not. It's like, no, there's kind of rules that we should follow in a situationship in the talking stage, or if you're just hooking up with somebody, or if you're dating with intentions. Like those are things that there is kind of a rule book for those things. And so I thought it'd be fun to kind of talk about it and share some of my own experiences with it because I've got some weird ones. So in one of my past episodes, retirement of a player, I kind of discussed like switching from like the man eater persona to kind of like wanting to date around and actually open up to somebody and like meet somebody, date around like a little bit more seriously rather than just like short-term relationships. And so I'd kind of say this is a little bit more expanding on that. And so I feel like in college, I was really only into like short-term relationships because I emotionally was super unavailable because I was super into somebody that was not super into me. And so I was very much seeing people with no intentions of it going anything further than like a fun time. Something about me when I am like seeing somebody casually, I've always, this actually sounds crazy, but like let me explain myself. I've always wanted to see, like if I'm seeing someone consistently, keyword consistently, if you're consistently, let's say, hooking up with somebody or like hanging out with, whatever you want to say, then I think that's something that like you communicate openly about. I have always been very open and honest about my intentions when I like meet a guy. It's either like, okay, I see potential here, like you got to take me out properly, or we're just hooking up. And when I'm just hooking up with someone, that doesn't mean it's like, yeah, it's casual. Of course it is, because I'm not looking for anything further, but I still have respect for myself and I still have standards. If you're going to be like hooking up, like there's still standards there of like seeing somebody. And I think because of the consistency, it's like there should be rules where it's like, okay, when I'm hooking up with somebody, I'm pretty forward of like, I don't want you hooking up with anyone else. And that sounds exclusive. And I'm like looking at it now and like that probably is. But I just think it's gross. I get the ick. I'm just kind of like, ooh, like gross. Cause like, first of all, I don't want fucking chlamydia. I just think it's gross. Two, I also am just like, wait, like, why didn't you call me? Like, why not me? Like, could have been us. And then I just like get the ick from that because I'm like, okay, ew, like, whatever. And I've always just thought it was gross. I don't know. I just think that like there's an etiquette to the hookup culture that's kind of like unspoken. I think many people talk about it because it's so fucking confusing. The hookup culture, situationships, the talking stage where it's like you're not together, but like it still hurts if you're with someone. So it's like you can be with somebody and like think that you're with them and like you're kind of exclusive, but you've never had that conversation. And then if you kiss somebody else when you're out, then like you'll crash out the next day feeling super guilty. Or if they hook up with somebody else when you're in this like weird gray area before you're closed off, before you're together, before anything's discussed, that is so hurtful. And it's like they have the power to still gaslight you, where it's like, well, I actually didn't do anything wrong because we aren't together. So it's like you have to kind of be careful and like protect yourself in that gray area. And I think that's where women, especially, should kind of take on a man's role in a situationship. It's like, why does the man have all the power? Why? Like, I think it's important to like separate being the girlfriend and being or like seeing someone. When you're seeing someone, you should not do girlfriend tasks. You should not wake up and like make him a coffee in the morning. You should not wake up and hang out for an hour or two to like cuddle and chat. You should not be giving the girlfriend status of yourself to him. It's like, okay, yeah, like if you're hooking up with someone, you're already giving up like, yeah, something, but you kind of have to protect the other side that he hasn't seen yet, like your vulnerability, who you are as a person, your stories, your childhood, like your trauma, your friends, your this and that. He shouldn't know that yet. And it's like, I think we need to separate the two of like hooking up, casual situationship, talking stage, where it's like you can still have a good time with them, but always have your guard up and how much you share with them. Like you can let your guard down, of course, but it's like, don't do girlfriend acts. Don't give them gifts. Don't cook them dinner. Don't like it's hit them up after a night out when you're drunk and you want to see him. Hey, what are you doing right now? Like hit him with the drunk text and then don't be available throughout the day. Don't be available between 9 and 5 because guess what? You might be working, maybe you're in school, you're busy. You are a busy fucking woman. You're not texting him throughout the day. There's no, oh, good morning. Like, how are you? Like, what are your plans today? He doesn't get to know that because you guys aren't together yet. Like, you guys are like, as of now, a situationship, you guys are kind of just like seeing each other casually. That it's like, oh, I'll just kind of like tell him when I'm with him. It's like, okay, well, I'm probably going to see him soon when I like go over to his house. So I'll just tell him then. Like, why do I need to like spend my day on my phone texting him back, telling him updates about my life? Because I'm not his girlfriend. Like, why is he even asking? You need to take back the power in any situationship where it's like, you can't give him the girlfriend, wifey material stuff yet. When you wake up in the morning at his place, be like, oh, I gotta go. Oh my God, what? It's 6 a.m. Yep, sorry. I've got a busy day today. I have to go. Don't stick around and cuddle, even if you want to. It's like, just don't give yourself up like that because then you end up protecting not only by protecting your vulnerability in actions, you're actually protecting your vulnerability in the relationship, whatever you want to call it. And you still subconsciously are protecting yourself in the situation, which is what you need to do because otherwise the man has the power and you're just going to get hurt. I think it's sad that like the word situationship or the term even exists. It makes sense in this day and age. I think they're just toxic. And it's like, if you're in a situationship, like, why do you think it's going to turn into a relationship? A relationship should start with very traditional, like, you guys are going on dates. He's interested in you. You guys are getting to know each other and like very traditional way. If you're in a situationship, you're not, in my experience and from what I've seen in my friends, heard, you don't really get out of that. You don't really transition a situationship to a relationship that's healthy, at least. And I think that once we collectively see that and understand that, then we can kind of take the power back and not have such an anxious attachment when it comes to situationships and live our lives and still have the power and also like separate the difference between a situationship, a relationship, a boyfriend versus just seeing someone casually. I think it's harder for women to like understand what seeing someone casually means because things don't seem casual. Like there's so many different ways where it's like, okay, what was your moment where it didn't feel casual anymore? When he kisses you on the forehead, I'm sorry, but he knows that women like that. So that's why he's doing it. It's not because he cares about you and thinks you're sweet. Like, it's things, if he cared about you and thinks you're sweet, he's taking you to dinner every week. He wants to go on a walk with you. He wants to take you on dates every week, whether it's dinner or not. He wants to meet your parents. He is bringing you flowers and picking you up. Like, actions like that are what we read into and not things that like a typical situationship would do. I'm like talking, ew. See, I hate that word. I'm like talking to someone right now, but I'm also like very clear it's one thing to care about someone and also like see a future with them. Like I really care about this guy and I really like him, but like I'm single. I'm still single and I will be for a while. So I'm okay with that. And I also understand that he's single. I have set the boundary where I'm like, obviously you're single. I just don't want to hear about anything. If anything happens, I would prefer not hearing about it because like that's really going to hurt me. And like I know that I don't really have a right to be upset because like you're single just like I am. And in that same sense where I'm like, well, I don't want to like see anyone else because like I like this guy right now and I'm like I'm very like one person at a time type of thing. Like I don't like seeing a bunch of people at the same time. Like I just feel weird about it. And it's hard for me to do because like when I like someone, my eyes are only on them. And so I think that it helps me like remind myself that I can like him and care about him. And I kind of change the wording to I care about him a lot, but I am still single. And like I do have to put myself first. If there's a nice guy out and like I see potential there, then like of course I'll go out with him. Which can be really confusing and like saying it out loud kind of confused me a little bit more about how I feel about it, but you know what, that's okay. So cheers to whatever the fuck a situationship is, because this is not normal. But I think it's important to hold the power in a situationship. I think it's always important to hold power to protect yourself, unless you want to lean into it, which I also advocate for. But if you're worried about getting hurt, like me, just flip the narrative. Anything you do, just flip the narrative. You can always make yourself have control over a situation. It's just how you look at it. Cheers, and thank you for listening. Bye.